And broadcasting live direct from our studios in Moscow, this is RT. I'm Sean Thomas. Glad to have you with us. Now, Iraq's ambassador has told the UN that the so-called Islamic State militant group has seized nuclear material in the country's north. This is according to the Reuters news agency. For more on this, I'm joined live by Lindsay France, who is with me in Washington. Now, Lindsay, can you tell us more about this worrying statement by the Iraqi official?
Well, Sean, what we've learned is that in a letter to the United Nations, Iraq announced insurgents have seized nuclear materials from Mosul University. According to Iraq's UN ambassador, Mohamed Ali Alhakim, at least 40 kilograms of uranium compounds were stored at the university. Al-Hakim said the materials obtained can be used in manufacturing weapons of mass destruction and warned they could be smuggled out of Iraq. Now, a U.S. government official told Reuters the materials are not believed to be enriched uranium and would therefore be very difficult to make into a weapon. But it's also been revealed that Islamic State militants, a group, as you said, formerly known as ISIS, captured a facility on June 11th, about 35 miles southwest of Baghdad, which was once operated by Saddam Hussein's regime. It's believed to contain 2,500 degraded rockets filled with deadly, potentially deadly sarin and mustard gas. U.S. officials, again, have downplayed the risk, claiming the materials are too old to be useful. But as you can imagine, given the instability in Iraq and its proximity to Syria, this is a huge worry.
All right, now that's Lindsay France live in Washington. We know you're going to be staying across this story as more information becomes available. Thanks for being with us. Now, to discuss this more, we cross live to Dr. Walid Fares, who is an advisor to the Anti-Terrorism Caucus in the U.S. House of Representatives. Thank you very much for being with us here on RT. Now, how serious is this new development?
It is a very serious development, regardless of how weaponized this material could be. Now, of course, in Washington, there's going to be a debate about, is this really propaganda from the Iraqi government, or is this real? No matter what, if this material has really been taken by ISIS or by any other jihadi faction, it's not just about the material. It's about what can this organization use this material for, and it's not necessarily a nuclear material, but a dirty bomb could be the outcome. So I think that in the next few days, the United States government, both executive and in the Congress, are going to focus on this issue. But at the same time, they're going to try to downplay it because of the seriousness of it. And they don't want to create a political crisis before they make sure of what this material is.
Now, according to some experts, the uranium that is in question is not the enriched type that is used in weapons. Is it still a threat? Can it still be weaponized for terrorist attacks?
For dirty bombs, possibly, even for less than that. I mean, just displaying this material in location in tactical ways. And also what we don't know is that what would be the next component they're going to add to it. Now, it seems, if this is true, that they have a unit that understands how to identify such material. They have a chemical unit, quote unquote, or a unit that knows what it is. And therefore, we would look at other positions in Iraq, other locations. I was interested with the information about the other site that was under Saddam Hussein. So the worry is about ISIS' intention to use this kind of material, if not this specific one, but the idea of a general material in their warfare.
Now, we've heard that there are some concerns that this material might be moved across different kind of borders. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, the first border one would think about immediately is the Iraqi-Syrian border. I mean, it's now seized by ISIS on both sides of the border. We're talking about dozens, if not hundreds of kilometers from the north of Iraq till the center of Iraq. That would be one. Another type of border one would be concerned about would be Saudi Arabia and Jordan, of course.
Now, what kind of an international response can we expect? You talked a little bit about the U.S. response, but is there more of a global concern as well?
Well, at the Security Council, I imagine if the United States, Russia, and other countries are going to investigate the matter, remember that the Iraqis have gone to the United Nations. That's the route they chose, and therefore the United Nations will have to respond to that. But I'm sure at this point in time, the intelligence services of the 5 major permanent countries at the UN and others are already looking into this at this point in time.
Now, what does this recent development say about the security in Iraq or the region in general? Is this going into a more regional conflict?
I'd say regional and global. What has happened now with this information and probably other information going to come in the future is that ISIS is not just going to be a local Iraqi insurgent group or not even Iraqi Syrian. It's a regional force now. And if it's not contained by international coalition of all parties concerned, it's going to use its cells around the world. And that would be Europe, that would be North America, that would be Russia, or even the Arab world.
Very interesting to hear your thoughts on this. Dr. Walid Fares, thank you for being with us, an advisor to the Anti-Terrorism Caucus in the U.S. House of Representatives. And